Hello everybody, this is Ethan with WiseCrack Studios, and today I wanted to go over a little bit of a trick that helps anybody that's working on any demos right now. So something that you might notice in particular when you're doing a demo recording, like especially if you haven't been doing this for a very long time, is when you compare your demo to a professionally recorded track, it's really quiet. Now, part of the reason for that is because of the mastering stage that a lot of these recordings will go through. So when you're doing your own demos, you don't necessarily do any mastering. You might do a little bit of mixing, but not so much mastering. So this is a little trick that you can do to try to get the most out of what you are doing. Now, first, I want you to just take a listen to this track as it is. This is just going to be the last chorus, and we're just going to listen to it how it is right now. All right, not bad. Not the loudest thing in the world, but it's still in the mixing phase, so I don't worry so much about that right now. It's very well balanced. I'm going to work on it a little bit more later, but for now, it's exactly how I want it to be. Now, there's really two ways to do this. One is really wrong, but I've seen a lot of people do it, so I kind of want to address that. The other is closer to the right way. It's not full mastering, but it is closer to what mastering is. And that one I'm going to go through. I'm going to show you how to do it. It's going to be real quick, trust me. So the first one that I've seen is people just going through, pulling up their menu like this, and just grabbing all the faders and pushing them up as far as they can before the actual bus starts to clip, like the little stereo out here. Just to kind of speed things up on that, I have a little submix that's just kind of everything together, and I'm just going to push that as high as it'll go before it starts clipping. If it starts clipping, I'll pull it down a little bit. Alright, that's about as loud as I feel like I can get it without it like really over the top just starting to clip. So that's one way to do it. I've seen a lot of people do this, and I really don't like that this is becoming a thing, because all that you're doing is just pushing it further and further into clipping. Now, for anyone here that doesn't know, clipping is what happens whenever you go above the 0 point. So if you look real quick, I'm just going to make it happen real quick. Just watch your ears. Luckily, inside of a DAW, it's not nearly as bad as it could be because they understand with the stereo out in particular, stereo out, master bus, whatever they call it, they understand that that is the one that really cannot be allowed to clip, so they make it so that whenever you're listening to things, they automatically limit it a little bit, but then if you try to bounce it out as it is going to clip really bad. So instead, the real thing that you can be doing is grab a limiter. It can be the adaptive limiter from Logic that I'm using right here. You can use whatever bog standard limiter that you have within your system, but you're going to set an out of about -1 dB. You're going to grab some sort of level meter. I'm pulling up the multimeter from Logic right here, and you're just going to increase the gain until you get to about -12. Specifically for RMS. The peak, it's fine. It's going to hit 1-ish, and then the RMS is what we care about right now.
Lonely as it gets, staring at the
So already what we have is something that is sounding significantly louder, but in a much better way. What's happening right now is that all of those kick and snare moments that are the really, really loud moments, those are getting specifically cut off at a certain level so that they don't go any louder than the -1 there, and the entire rest of the track is getting brought up in volume. Everything is starting to get a little bit louder, but the things that are the loudest part, instead of us just bringing up the volume of everything, those are getting cut off to a certain point while the rest keeps going. It helps to sort of glue everything together a little bit better. Now, this is a really basic way of doing this. Like, I could go into just like an hour of how to do some very, very basic mastering. This is the most basic way of just getting that stuff to that volume. If you've done a good job mixing, or even a medium level job of mixing, this should work. This should at least make it to where whenever somebody drops your song into their iTunes library, it'll sound the same-ish volume as everything else. All right, until next time, this has been Ethan with WiseCrack Studios, and I hope that you have a lovely day.